Today's trade was on Netflix on a call, on the option on a 5:30, one contract in at 150. I was looking at the chart, just following it through the day. I was looking at some other things, and then I just came over and checked Netflix, and it was looking like it was setting up to be a quick little scalp. I didn't think it was going to take as long as it did, but ended up being in, I think, 28 minutes in the trade, and profitable, very profitable. For a small amount that was traded, the return was very good, and I'll take these kind of days every day of the week. Anyway, what we're seeing here is, again, you see the red line, that was my support, and I was using the time in sales and my L2 to kind of establish that, kind of seeing what the price action was looking like at these certain points, and I kept looking. It just couldn't break beyond that. It tested the support, and it just couldn't break past it, so I figured that was a good time to get in. It's a 3-minute chart, and no, this is not chasing, because the candle formations were telling me that this was going to continue to go up. And looking at the other higher time frames, I was looking at the 15 and the 5 as well, and they were both showing me that it was going to be an upturn. And that's why I decided to get into this trade. Here's the whole screen here, and this is me getting in. Again, it was one contract at $100, and I get in, but I'm kind of watching right now, trying to get a lower price to actually get in. And I'm just watching, so I've got my order ready to go, just waiting for a good price to get in. Kind of, again, you see right there in the middle the time it sells, and that's kind of give me an idea what's happening. Again, it's just price action and candles. That's what I'm looking at, support and resistance points, and kind of just playing off of that. I do have indicators on other charts, but I do that like when I'm done trading, and like analysis, or even when everything's over with, and I do, just some studying. And I'm in there at 5:30 call at one contract for $150. Again, you see what I trade off of, but I do use technical stuff just for study, kind of to compare my previous trade, and kind of just see if these things align. But I'm finding they don't align, so it's very hard to trade off of lagging indicators, because that's just it, they're lagging. You need to be in the front of this thing. You got to get ahead of everything. And I know it's impossible because we can't predict the future, but we can definitely get a leg up and get close at the time of sale, even if it's seconds behind. It's a lot better than waiting for a 5-minute candle or a confirmation for an 8 and a 5 cross on your exponentials or moving averages or whatever you're using, MACD, stochastic. It takes time, and you're wasting time. You're either going to be late getting in and late getting out, or you're not going to be able to get in at all. So I'm in this trade. I'm watching my first candle here. I'm looking at, okay, where's it possibly right there where I have my cursor? That's probably going to be support. Well, it violated that. Let's see what happens on that candle. There we go. He's playing around with it. It's an inside candle, so it's a lot of indecision going on there. They're buying, they're selling. They don't know what's going on. They're kind of just, in limbo. The guys who bought in on that green candle before saw the candle go red, so they started selling because they were getting paranoid. And then the buyers were coming in. Okay, we'll buy since these guys are dumping. Those guys that bought up there took a loss, and the guys got in at a lower price. Now they're in, and they're watching and being patient. Then boom, big sell-off. Okay, some more scared, paranoid people dumping, scared to death, and they're getting trapped, and they're worried about getting trapped. So, okay, now we're sitting there looking at, it's going to test the support level. It's going to support that bottom support level where the congestion of all those candles have been sitting on. Now you see I got my L2 sitting up. What I do with that, I just kind of use that as to gauge what sellers and buyers are doing, and what it allows me to do is actually see what's coming, because it's in real time. I mean, it's maybe a millisecond or a second, even if it's a second behind, that's fine. It's still better than a 8 or a 5 lagging indicator. Again, I'm looking here. I draw my support line there. That's where it looks like everything's stopping down. So again, I'm down on the trade. I'm down a few dollars on this trade, probably 10 bucks at this point. I'm starting to get an itchy finger because I've got 150 in, and 10 bucks is about 8%. I'm not going into $15 because that's my 10%, and I'm gonna manage my risk and get out of it at 10% no matter what. So $15 loss, I'm out. Okay, I'm fast approaching that 15. I'm probably 12, 13. Now I'm at 15. Now I'm starting to get an itchy finger, but hold on now, because I'm looking at this, looking at what's happening here. Again, looking at the L2, and I see that it's buyers are coming. It's a good time for guys to come in, and they're coming in. So I'm not worried yet. I'm not worried yet. I'm just kind of eyeballing everything right now, looking at the big picture. Again, L2, give me an idea what's happening, the emotions in the market, what's going on there. And again, we see that big red candle tested it, but it still finished across the other side. So it's still support. The next candle we're seeing here is trying to break it again. He's trying to get down below support and violate that. But we had a good thrust of buyers in that previous candle. Okay, we finished green inside candle, so there's indecision. It didn't break above, it didn't have enough strength, and it didn't break below, didn't have enough strength for that. Again, I'm patiently sitting here waiting, seeing if this green candle can violate my mental resistance. If you see the two peak in the middle, those two candles, that's my target for resistance. I didn't draw a line, it's a mental image in my head. So I'm looking, and now I see a little bit of more resistance, can't break across that, so I'm sitting there waiting. I'm not going to sit there and hold something that's just going to consolidate, because that's what we have here. When everything's just sideways, it's consolidating. Okay, looks like we passed it, but are we going to be able to close on the other side? That's the confirmation that we're okay if it closes on the other side of that resistance, which it did. Now I've got an inside red starting, turn green, going up. Okay, I'm positive by now. I'm positive. And it's just a matter of, am I going to get out at break even? Worst case scenario, I break even. So I'm a few bucks up right now, so I'm going to ride this thing out and see what happens. Again, I'm running at about 650% speed. I'm on a 3-minute, but I went up 6.5 times speed, so we're seeing it very fast. Instead of dragging this whole thing out, because it was a 28-minute trade, I held it for 28 minutes, which is kind of long. Just so much consolidation going on there. But as you see, it's starting to go up. I got my finger on the trigger. I'm getting ready to close this thing out, because I'm looking at the way the candles are forming, and it's starting to show me that there's a little bit of pushback. So I'm done. I'm 62 up on 150 bucks. That's a 40% gain, good enough for me, and I'm out. I'm done. 28 minutes for the day. 211 out, 150 in, $62 profit. Actually, I think it was $212. I'm sorry. So $62 profit. There's my P&L for the day right there. 40% gain. So you don't need a large account to make money in options. You just need a little bit and some knowledge.